We have an excerpt from the president's speech tonight. Quote, "We have spent the past 4 years reversing the damage Joe Biden inflicted over the last 47 years. All right, Martha MacCallum, what's the buzz with Mike Pence's speech, and what do you expect from the president tonight?
Well, we're hearing that over the course of this week, the president has sharpened his dialogue and his rhetoric in this speech, adding to it. I think it's going to be a fairly lengthy speech that you're going to hear from the president tonight, and he will be doing it in his own backyard. This has been a very unconventional convention, as we've talked about many times. It was originally supposed to be in Charlotte, then in Jacksonville, and it seems like the president, once those two states fell through, they sort of just embraced the whole idea of taking advantage of the bully pulpit, and Fort McHenry last night, the White House tonight. So anybody who is concerned about the Hatch Act, which has been raised, and there's even discussion about an investigation, they clearly believe that they're on good legal standing, and they have sort of gone whole hog at using this backdrop to its fullest extent. And I think you're going to see a big show tonight, Jesse.
Yeah, I think, Dana, the Republicans very pleased with not only what Mike Pence said, but how it looked, because that was a lot different than a lot of the visuals that we saw during the DNC. What does the president need to say tonight, and how does he attack Biden and also defend his record and lay out a vision?
Well, that would take a long speech, and that's what you might get tonight, as Martha said. I loved the line that you read in the intro, Jesse, that it took us 4 years to dismantle what when Biden has been doing for 47 years. What that does, it robs Biden from the opportunity to call this a change election, because that's what you want to do when you are looking to upset an incumbent. Incumbents are very hard to beat. Part of the reason, as Martha just pointed out, you have the trappings of the White House. Now, that is the people's house. And I do understand why some people would be niggled about it. However, by the time they have an investigation, this election's going to be over. So it doesn't matter. The president wouldn't be here if it weren't for the pandemic. Joe Biden wouldn't be in Wilmington for his convention if it weren't for the pandemic. So I think we have to set that aside. I also feel like what they did tonight is to put some more meat on the bones of that second act. Karl Rove has been talking about this for the past 2 weeks, actually for several months, saying that when you want to run for re-election, you have to lay out a clear vision for what you want to accomplish in the second term. It is not good enough to talk about all of the things that you've done. Those are important, but you have to say, and if you give me another 4 years, here's what I plan to do for you. And so I think you'll probably see that tonight. I had this idea that he should have done some sort of surprise, on The Bachelor or something, and had this all set up here at the White House, but actually done the speech from Lordstown, Ohio, where he could have said, I know I was going to be in Washington tonight, but I changed my mind. I wanted to come here because when I was here in 2016, I told you I would bring jobs back, and I did. And if you give me another 4 years, I will do it again, because I don't care about Washington, D.C., I care about you. But I think it's too late for that.
Yeah, probably. Well, Greg, Dana said it's going to be a long speech. That means past 11. Are you going to be okay?
I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I hear it's a confident speech, so confident he pre-recorded it in 2014. Had it in the can in case he decided to run in 2016, so he didn't have to worry about it. I think he does have to address the millions who are legitimately worried right now in America that our American idea is no longer guaranteed once you dissolve the thin blue line of law and order. So he needs to reassure us that he can kind of lead us out of this confluence of misery. And no matter what he says, the media is going to eviscerate him. So there's no need to make the media feel comfortable or even good about the next 4 years. So you got to present an upbeat future to America that is safe and secure, free from anxiety and anarchy and mobs and cancel culture. But I want to talk about last night real quick.
Sure.
No one's mentioned the great Sister Byrne. I think when she came on, millions of Catholics experienced the simultaneous memories of a ruler whacked on their knuckles in grade school for holding your pencil wrong. But she was great. I mean, here's a woman, 30 years in the military. She's a doctor and a surgeon in Afghanistan and Egypt. She served the poor in Haiti, Iraq, Sudan. I mean, she truly is the voice of the voiceless. And you see none of that at the DNC. And I dare anyone to question that person's compassion when she speaks about abortion and the right to life. I mean, how many millions of lives are snuffed out? And there ain't no riot for that. So I just, it's interesting. It's just like Republicans create a lot of tough customers. And she's a tough customer. And you think about those other guys, Burgess Owens, Jack Brewer, and that's a great name, Jack Brewer, and Herschel Walker. There's just some tough people. And so when you turn and watch the Republicans, you go like, okay, these are the adults. These are the people that'll shut down the idiocy. And I think that's a really good, strong message.
Juan, I know you disagree with that, but looking back to last night, was there anything that you, Juan Williams, did any tingle go down your leg? Did your heart start fluttering? Was there one moment that even you could say, wow, that was good stuff?
Well, I think the people who produced The Apprentice and had a hand in producing this did a fine job. So when I was looking at it, I thought, boy, look at that setting. How glorious. Fort McHenry. It's Baltimore, so I had to think, oh, where's the rat-infested site? But, I thought they did a really good job of the setting. I thought it was pretty good. Now, for tonight, Jesse, I think we know what's coming. Trump is going to bash Biden. That's been the whole theme of this convention, is to make Biden equally unattractive, maybe more unattractive than Trump is to the voters, so that Trump can win the election. But the problem has been, even today, the news. The news just keeps going on. I know my baseball team's not playing tonight. Why? Because they're protesting. The NBA is protesting. Major League Soccer, the WNBA. Trump is the incumbent in a nation that's hurting in terms of the virus, in terms of the economy, in terms of racial unrest. And even today, Kellyanne Conway on Fox and Friends says, oh, you know what? All this chaos and anarchy is good for the Trump campaign. Wow. So tonight is Trump.
The Democrats had their turn.
Now it's the Republicans who will take the national spotlight.
Fox News is bringing you Democracy 2020 coverage you can't get anywhere else, with can't-miss analysis all night, breaking down the key moments from every major event and the opinion America turns to for answers. It all continues tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Special coverage of the 2020 Republican National Convention.
Only on Fox News Channel.
When it comes to buying a home, they say cash is king. But you're a queen, and that's just as powerful. You're armed with a verified approval from Rocket Mortgage. Sellers know your offer is good, so your bid has the strength to compete with cash offers. Now grab your crown and rule. That castle is yours. So when you need an edge in the bidding war, Rocket can.
I have so many questions, Sister Lucia. Why would she choose you, child of all people?
Some are calling it a miracle.
A miracle.
Fatima, rated PG-13.
Old Dominion has ranked #1 in overall performance 10 years straight. Customers trust OD for damage-free deliveries and real-time shipment visibility. Our people never stop working toward perfection. Old Dominion, helping the world keep promises.
Greedy drug companies seeking even bigger profits are lying about President Trump. Here's what President Trump's plan really does. Reduces Medicare and prescription drug prices, reduces the cost of insulin, cuts the cost of life-saving medicine. That's why Big Pharma is attacking President Trump. They liked it better with Joe Biden when healthcare costs skyrocketed. President Trump is standing up to the drug companies and fighting for us.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Are your cupboards a cookware disaster? We'll try Gotham Steel Stackmaster, the all-new non-stick space-saving cookware that neatly stacks inside itself. You can have an organized kitchen with every pan and lid right at your fingertips. The solid metal stacking plates allow the entire set to fit together without scratching. Stackmaster pans are non-stick and durable, plus they're even oven-safe up to 500 degrees. So bake warm, cheesy bread or make your favorite oven pot roast.
Available at Walmart and Home Depot. Get back to your original color, whatever your shade. Trust Just for Men, now with a new look. Still 5 easy minutes, same great gray-free results. Just for Men original formula is now shampoo in color. Be the better man you are and look the part.
Nutritious prepared meals made by chefs and ready in 3 minutes. We don't have to cook anymore.
We don't have to cook anymore? Go to Freshly.com today.
Today, your information is more exposed than ever. When you shop, bank, or browse online, you're vulnerable to cyber criminals. More threats demand more protection. That's why Norton and LifeLock are now one, combining device security, VPN for online privacy, and LifeLock identity theft protection, backed by $1 million protection package. Get all-in-one protection on Norton.com.
The final night of the RNC. First, Donald Trump Jr. has reaction on the Ingram angle. Then, Shannon breaks down every moment on Fox News at Night.
Real people are realizing there's a better way to mobile.
My carrier probably has a lot of fees I don't even know are there. Basic phone line access, federal universal service charge, I don't even know what that is. Why am I paying these fees?
At Spectrum Mobile, there are no added taxes and fees. What you see is what you pay. $45 a line with our unlimited data plan or $14 a gig with our Buy the Gig plan.
The calculator said that we would save $600 a year. We've actually
alleviated some of those concerns with these attacks on the president.
The problem we have right now is we're in Donald Trump's America. He's rooting for more violence, not less, and it's clear about that. And what's he doing? He's kept pouring gasoline on the fire. COVID is out of control. He's doing very little to be. He's not prepared. He didn't prepare for it. He hasn't responded to it. And he continues to be in a position where he does nothing to deal with it. We created more jobs in the last 3 years than he's created so far. Everything he's inherited, he's screwed up. There's no rationale. This guy doesn't believe in science, or at least if he heard it, he doesn't understand it.
And Vice Presidential nominee Senator Kamala Harris going after President Trump in a pre-buttal to his convention speech tonight. Watch this.
Donald Trump's incompetence is nothing new. A pandemic is unforgiving. If you get it wrong at the beginning, the consequences are catastrophic. He got it wrong from the beginning. And then he got it wrong again and again.
Martha, Vice President Biden spoke today, as you just saw. One of the things he said, spoke about COVID. He said, talk about safety. The biggest safety issue in America is people dying of COVID. What did you think of that?
Well, you know, I think when you look at the way that Joe Biden has approached this, obviously he is very careful in all of his approaches, but he has not really acknowledged the changing dynamic of this as we move forward. And the things that he talks about doing, you know, rolling out a plan and all of that, having a testing, you know, ramping up testing, ramping up the movement towards treatments, those things are already in the works. So it kind of feels in some ways when he speaks about this topic as though it could be something that he, you know, could have spoken about the same way a month or two ago, because it's a dynamic, changing situation. The one thing that I think you're going to continue to hear is the phrase, which we heard from Kamala Harris today, it didn't have to be this bad. That's the convincing factor. If you can convince people that it didn't have to be this bad, that the president mishandled it, that this isn't just, you know, one of those big historic issues that a president has to wrestle with and do the best he can, and that bad things happen because of the nature of this virus. That's troublesome for President Trump. And so he's going to have to continue to push back on that in his campaign. But that's the line that we heard from Bill Clinton, initiated the line, and we've heard it several times over the course of the last 7 or 8 days. It didn't have to be this bad. Look for them to continue to press that every opportunity they get.
Greg, as you saw, Senator Harris also spoke today in what people are calling a pre-buttal. I love that word. I find it kind of curious. Anyway, she said, and here, Greg, I'm paraphrasing, Trump caved to China when they refused to share information. He even praised their transparency. So what do you think? Is that an effective line of attack coming from the Democrats?
Not really. When the canary in the coal mine was Donald Trump when it came to China. In fact, I think we all were making fun of Trump when he kept saying China, China. Everybody was mocking him, and it turns out he was right. And I agree with you, pre-buttal is a strange word. It sounds like something you have removed.
Well, I'd want mine back. So, Jesse, I wanted to read a quote to you. The quote reads this way: the more chaos and anarchy and vandalism and violence reigns, the better it is for the very clear choice on who's best on public safety, law, and order. That's Kellyanne Conway. And I think that's pretty clear. So do you agree?
I didn't think she was saying that this helps us. I think she says that was presenting a choice because Joe Biden isn't acknowledging it. But the Biden strategy is this. He's going to ride COVID and race to victory. The race thing has backfired, so now all he has is COVID. So he's hoping for a second wave. To tie your political fortunes to a second wave of coronavirus where more people die, it doesn't really taste very good when you say that, and it's also something you can't control. Coronavirus cases have been cut in half. Coronavirus deaths have been cut in more than half recently. Hospitals have plenty of PPE and they have space. And next month, we're having schools open, football happening, and businesses opening. And Joe Biden's campaigning like we're in April and it's a lockdown. Right now, the latest poll 2 weeks ago, Pew said the top issue in the election is the economy. COVID was ranked 4th, tied with crime. I would bet now crime's above COVID, and Donald Trump's trusted to handle the economy by 10 points over Joe Biden. There was a study by Franklin Templeton with Gallup, and they tried to figure out who was the most misinformed about COVID risk in America. They found out that people who get most of their information from Twitter, social media, and Democrats are the two groups that are most misinformed about who's at risk for coronavirus. So Joe Biden's almost trapped in the distorted reality of his own base that the media has created for him.
All right, so Dana, the former vice president, said today he wants to go to Kenosha, but said he doesn't want a political circus. He wants to go there to help healing. You know, he said ideally he would facilitate a dialogue, black, white, police, protesters. So I thought I'd ask you, is this a good idea, and how would you structure it so that it is helpful and not simply a political show?
I mean, he's got... I don't have 7 arms. I have 7 children who just lost their father, and I don't have 7 arms to wrap around them.
I'm Frank Silla, chairman of the Stephen Silla Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Our foundation is committed to delivering mortgage-free homes for Gold Star families and fallen first responder families.
To not have to worry financially is a huge peace of mind. The thought of what in the world will I possibly do to pay the bills? How will I possibly let the children have a life that feels normal? I don't want them to have to quit their piano lessons or their basketball. I don't want them to feel that we have to move into a little apartment and struggle financially in addition to the emotional weight.
There are over 1,000 families that need our help. Tunnel to Towers is honoring those heroes that risked their lives by providing them with mortgage-free homes.
Those who serve us and then lay down their lives protecting our freedoms and our safety, the least we can do is $11 a month to give them that peace of always knowing there's a home, there's that sanctuary when life feels like it's been tipped upside down, because it has, when you lose a parent in the line of duty, to know you can go home, you can be safe, there's no risk of losing your home. That's a peace of mind that I can't believe you can get for $11 a month.
I'd like to ask you to contribute $11 a month to support their efforts.
Please donate $11 a month by calling 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
Now more than ever, it's important to lose weight, improve your health, and strengthen your immunity. Starvation dieting, processed foods, shakes, and diet gimmicks have made us heavier and sicker. The solution for losing weight the right way is Golo. We help transform your body and change your lifestyle so you can lose weight and get healthier. Over 20,000 people of all ages and entire families switch to Golo every week because Golo works. Golo is a unique approach to weight loss that targets insulin resistance and body fat. Insulin resistance makes it easy to gain weight and harder to lose it. Golo is a patented system that uses natural plants and minerals and sound nutrition to help your body convert fat to energy faster, so you lose weight while improving your health and immunity. Join over 1 million people who found Golo, a smarter way to lose weight. Let Golo help you lose weight and reach your health goals quickly. Head to Golo.com. That's Golo.com.
When America's service members move forward, they're unstoppable. Unstoppable in their mission. Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has advocated for these heroes. Our mission is helping injured veterans achieve their highest ambition with free services in mental health, career counseling, and long-term rehabilitative care. And Warriors never pay a penny for our programs. They're unstoppable heroes. Support Warriors today at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Nancy Pelosi thinks Joe Biden shouldn't debate President Trump.
Don't tell anybody I told you this, especially don't tell Joe Biden. I don't think that there should be any debates. I wouldn't legitimize a conversation with him, nor a debate in terms of the presidency of the United States. If Joe Biden asked you what I thought about it, I don't think that he should dignify that conversation with Donald Trump.
She knows she was on TV, right? And here's Joe Biden's reaction.
As long as the commission continues down the straight and narrow as they have, I'm going to debate him. Now, I know for certain that they're going to, I'm going to be a fact checker on the floor while I'm debating him. I think everybody knows this man has a somewhat pathological tendency not to tell the truth.
So, Dana, wouldn't you want to debate a liar? Because if you debate a liar, you can win with the truth. It seems like it's better to debate a liar because all you have to do is come with facts. I've learned that.
There you go. Okay. Hey, I did think about you, Greg, because a few months ago when we did a segment and you said they're going to figure out a way not to debate, I was like, no, they're definitely going to debate. And then I made a bet with Tucker that they're going to debate. And so, like, I could be on the losing side of all of this because as soon as she said, don't tell anybody I told you this, but then you knew she's too smart to just say something like that and not know that it's going to have a lot of consequences. And I'm kind of surprised that Joe Biden didn't more forcefully shut it down because there's this aura that they think that there's basically going to be some big problem that he's not going to be able to debate and they want to not have to make him not do it. He shuts it down, but I don't think it was as forcefully as he could have.
No.
I still think there will be debates. There should be debates. But now I'm skeptical when she did that because she doesn't do that lightly.
Exactly. You know, Jesse, if this were high school, I think you would be the person that would start making the chicken clucking sound.
Wow, you nailed me, man. I was such an instigator in high school. Wow. I guess I still am if you think about it, but now I get paid to do it. I mean, isn't Biden taking performance-enhancing drugs? Didn't the president accuse him of taking drugs during the debate against Bernie Sanders, which I don't know if you guys remember it, Juan. I told you after that debate how I thought Joe Biden was so sharp and so crisp. Maybe the president's onto something. Who knows? He'll have to submit to a drug test. But, Greg, why are we talking about this conspiracy theory? This is a right-wing talking point. I mean, only Nancy Pelosi, Joe Lockhart, Thomas Friedman, and about a dozen Democratic strategists have raised this issue about Biden ducking. Here's what I found funny. A guy tweeted this. I was going to give him credit, but I forgot to write his name down. But this is it, the strategy from Biden. Don't debate, don't leave the basement, don't concede the election. How arrogant do you have to be to think that's going to work?
Pretty arrogant, but I'm pretty sure that was a question you didn't want me to answer, but I answered it anyway.
Thank you.
Martha, is this a trial balloon or a trial Hindenburg?
I think you should say to Nancy Pelosi, like, stop trying to help me, because it puts him in a bad situation when she says that. I believe there absolutely have to be debates. I think that he absolutely cannot go on with this strategy. He was in the basement. I noticed now he's moved up to the first floor. There's light coming in the windows. He's now in front of a fireplace. I think he's at a different home of his in Maryland at this point. But he really needs to get out. Now there's a discussion from the commission, the debate commission, and President Trump brought this up, that they need to have a debate before early voting starts in 22 days. So there is a suggestion, and they're trying to get the Biden team to get on board on this, that they should do one before that and have 4 debates. The American people deserve to see these 2 individuals debate. Nancy Pelosi looks a little bit panicked when she talks about this, and I wonder what she is so worried about. Joe Biden seems to feel like he can get out there and do it. And yes, he had a great debate against Bernie Sanders. So I guess whatever he ate that day, he should repeat that and try to get back out there and do it again.
Yeah. So, Juan, Nancy Pelosi is arguably the most powerful Democrat, right? Yep. And so this is not some kind of off the cuff situation. It's kind of a serious deal what she said.
I don't take it that way, but I thought it was a suggestion. I mean, you know, like President Trump produces headlines. What Jesse just said to us about how he said that, you know, maybe Biden's taking drugs. You know, it produced headlines. But again, I don't take it that seriously. I just think that's the kind of nasty slash that comes from Donald Trump towards his opponent. But I mean, remember, first he said that Biden was a doddering old man. He was losing his mental capacity. You know, that's not even Donald Trump talking. He's just a puppet. Remember all that? And next, I imagine he's going to say something that you might like, Greg. He's going to say, oh, he's actually a robot. He's got computer chips in his head. That's not Joe Biden. You know, this is just way he goes about business.
Can't disprove that one.
Oh, okay. Well, you got me there. You got me there. So
we got to open him up. We got to open him up. See. You know?
I think Trump must be very nervous. I think Trump's the one that's nervous here.
That's why Nancy Pelosi
hang on, because he knows. Hang on, because he's suggesting drugs and all this other, and Biden's, you know, mentally weak. He's the one that knows that everybody is going to fact check all the claims and outrageous things he says. So Pelosi
then you should love that. Nancy should love that.
But you know what? I think he should bother. I agree with everybody. Let's have a debate. We don't need extra debates, but let's have the 3 debates.
You know what else I heard? I heard Joe Biden's going to stand on a box during the debate. He's going to borrow Mini Mike's little box under the lectern.
Nothing wrong with that.
And Trump wants to be standing for all the debates. No sitting.
I think that what Nancy Pelosi is doing is she's providing cover for Joe to escape the wrath of Trump. They know he's going to get destroyed in the debate, and this is actually a kind of a logical argument against it. Like, we shouldn't have to debate an immoral character. We don't need to. We're above that. That's going to be their argument.
I don't think.
I think she's saying to the press, you guys better do your job. You know, like this convention, so many false statements. Go out and actually do your job and call Trump on his lies.
Like they did under Obama.
That's what the debate process is for.
Coming up, the DOJ taking aim at blue states over their disastrous nursing home policies that cost thousands of lives.
Pull up. That chain pull up. Pull up, pull up.
South Dakota, the land of the free. With our breathtaking landscapes and wide open spaces, we're a place to safely explore. And with our low taxes, we're a place to grow. We're open for opportunity, and always will be. I'm Governor Kristi Noem. Celebrate what makes America great, and experience the great faces and great places of South Dakota.
When our country used to flex its muscle with battleships like the USS Iowa, the world would listen. It's time we return to the America I remember. Hi, I'm William Devane. There are dangerous forces everywhere pulling our country apart, threatening our economy and our way of life. That's why I'm going to do 2 things: support our military and buy gold from Roslyn Capital. I've never felt safe relying on paper money to protect my assets. That's why I buy gold from Roslyn. With Roslyn, what you order is what you get. No gimmicks, no nonsense, no hassle. We're all safer with our ships patrolling the seas. And my assets are a whole lot safer with gold from Roslyn Capital. So ask yourself, are you safe?
Call now to get your free gold, silver, and IRA kits. Call 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But not for your clients. That's why we're a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios?
Nope. We tailor portfolios to our clients' needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right?
We don't have those. So what's in it for you? Our fees are structured so we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Let's go! You want results? You need a personal trainer in your home on your terms.
Hard work gets rewards.
A trainer that live controls your machine.
Everything you got right now, go!
To give you a truly interactive experience.
This is your reward.
interactive personal training. Only at NordicTrack.com.
So you ready to hit the road?
I don't know. Just get on your bike. No.
Experian Boost has helped millions of people. How can it help you?
Oh my gosh, 16 points. This is great.
I refinanced my truck and saved a bunch of money.
So I just boosted my credit score 28 points.
Boost your credit scores instantly, free. Download the Experian app now.
3 weeks and still no sign of our elusive subject. So today, we brought a little enticement. Devour buffalo chicken mac and cheese. There he is. What a magnificent beast. Once he locks onto his prey, it's all but over. Oh, wow. It's a female.
Ryan!
Looks like she's the alpha.
Typical.
Eat like an animal. Devour.
This is Joe. He used to have bad breath. Now he uses a capful of TheraBreath Fresh Breath Oral Rinse to keep his breath smelling great all day long. TheraBreath. It's a better mouthwash at Walmart, Target, and other fine stores.
Today, when you bank, shop, or browse online, you're more exposed than ever to cyber criminals. That's why Norton and LifeLock are now one. Get all-in-one protection on Norton.com.
The DOJ demanding answers from 4 Democratic governors over how they handled COVID-19 outbreaks in nursing homes. The Fed asking for information from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Michigan after thousands of elderly Americans died. Governor Andrew Cuomo blasting the move as politically motivated. He claims that his state did what Florida is doing now. You know, Juan, when you take a look at this situation, you've seen so much blame, finger pointing going back and forth between President Trump and the governors and whose responsibility is what. But the bottom line is that I live in New Jersey and I know what their policy was. New York did the same thing. Basically, when people were sent back out from hospitals, and in some cases, those people were sent back to the nursing homes because they had DNRs, they had do not resuscitate, and they sent them back to the nursing home. They said, and the governor said they weren't allowed to test that person or to say to the rest of the population that this person coming back in has COVID. And this is believed to have led to an enormous number of deaths in these nursing homes. And now Bill Barr wants to take a look at their numbers, because a lot of people think that the numbers have been played with a little bit. So what is wrong with doing investigations into these 4 states to see what happened, to see what their policies were?
I don't know how you could get more political than this, Martha. I mean, this is Bill Barr, it seems to me, turning the Justice Department into a campaign tool for the Trump campaign. You know, at this point, that's what it is. You know, the fact is they all need to cover, and that's what Barr's doing, for the fact that Trump had so many failures in terms of dealing with COVID. You know, what I'm talking about is pressuring CDC just last week to end COVID testing that was previously required for all people that had been exposed to the virus. Now, nope, not under the Trump administration. Trump underplayed the virus initially. He failed to close down quickly. He rushed reopening. He promoted faceless cures.
Why shouldn't these governors be held responsible if they didn't do anything wrong?
No,
that's what this data will show. But these policies in New York and New Jersey in particular, and I know they're looking at Michigan and Pennsylvania as well. I mean, I know you've heard Janice Dean talk about what happened to her in-laws, and I've spoken to medical professionals in these nursing homes who say, you know what, all these people did not have to die.
These are Democratic cities, right, or states, I should say.
What difference does it make?
Well, gee, we're having a huge campaign, and COVID is a big issue for voters and a major failure point for Trump. So I think Americans, look, I don't care what Bill Barr does. He can play politics, but Americans know what happened, and they know that the great leader said, when all these Americans are dying, it is what it is.
Jesse, I want to play this from Andrew Cuomo on May 17th, 2020, and get your reaction.
To families who've suffered losses inside nursing homes, and they're looking for accountability, and they'd like to see justice.
How do we get justice for those families who had 139 deaths? What is justice? Who can we prosecute for those deaths? Nobody. Older people, vulnerable people, are going to die from this virus. And that is a fact. And that is not going to change.
He got a lot of heat for that statement, Jesse, and now he's writing a book about how successful he was at handling this in New York. And I guess this news is not good for book sales.
If he was so successful, why wouldn't he want to show everybody how successful he was? Juan says Cuomo did a bang-up job. Hey, show the country what a bang-up job you did. Show how everything you did worked. Doesn't make any sense. This was like a medical 9/11. If regular 9/11, they had a commission. They looked into everything. Where did it go wrong? What happened? We need some accountability so this can't happen again. Juan doesn't want to get to the truth. He doesn't want to know the facts. That's fine. I want to know. And you know what? If it was a Republican governor, let's look into what they did, too, because then we can find out what works in case, God forbid, this happens again. I have a family member who runs a series of nursing homes in New Jersey. And a little while back, I said, you know, how many patients did you have die from COVID-19? And he looked at me and I said, 0. I said, how is that possible? He said, I did not let one infected patient come into any of my nursing homes. He had very strict protocol, wouldn't let anybody come in that had tested positive, and saved a lot of lives. There was no mandate forcing COVID patients. Listen. This was not the Trump administration telling Cuomo and these governors, accept patients. This was a state deal, and they blew it. Let's be accountable.
And you know what, Greg? We all saw the Comfort parked on the Hudson River. We saw the Javits Center built out with all of those beds. And Governor Cuomo, as far as I can find, never requested to spread those nursing home patients out so that they wouldn't be infecting other people in those places that were not full.
Yeah, and there's an interesting trend. The Democrats don't get concerned over an issue until they can see it benefiting them. So they actually played down COVID. The CNN did, Washington Post, Cuomo, de Blasio. Certain people here did that. You had the ship. They didn't want to use the ship because then that would make Trump look good, right? So they shipped the patients over to the rest homes. The sheer number of death from that is breathtaking. New Jersey and New York, the last time I checked, was about 80% the death count of all Republican states combined. And a lot of that was sparked by the rest home deaths, which are in the thousands. I think it's like 6,000, 7,000. But the trend here is the Democrats didn't care about COVID until they thought it could be used as a weapon. The same exact way. They didn't care about the riots. They didn't care about the violence. They didn't care about CHOP. Portland, Seattle, Atlanta, New York City, the shootings in Chicago. They didn't care about the violence up until 48 hours ago when they could use it politically. So save that lecture